And so I think it's a conversation that needs to keep happening, right? If you Google my name on YouTube, you get shitheads like this dude who are making these dumbass videos that just say the same shit over and over again. And like, I hate to give you attention because you're a garbage human. Whatever, dude. But it's, you know, like the fact that these dudes are making endless videos that just go after every feminist over and over and over again, I think is a part of the issue of why we have to have these conversations. We don't just get to be online. We don't just get to participate like everyone else.
So, apparently VidCon was this weekend. Considering I'm new to this and, you know, broke and have no desire whatsoever to enter the People's Republic of California, I obviously wasn't there. However, in an effort to grow my channel, I did fire my Twitter account back up last week, and I think I'm being fairly accurate when I say that easily 3/4 of my Twitter feed, is that what it's called? Anyway, has been about the feud between Sargon of Akkad and Anita the chick that pretty much made Gamergate a thing. Apparently, Anita Scar's butt was holding an anti-harassment panel, and Sargon attended. He asked a question during the Q&A session, and she called him human garbage. To his credit, Sargon has carried this new title around like a badge of pride, but Anita Starscream and her followers have totally missed the point. She harassed a guy during an anti-harassment panel, and all the little Scarlights are cheering and celebrating. Twitter has been exploding between Sargon's supporters and Anita's, with the Sargonites pointing out the blatant hypocrisy, and the Scarlets continuing to act out said blatant hypocrisy. While somewhat entertaining, this is just a small example of the bigger problem in the world today. Now, a little about me. I consider myself a pacifist. Yet if you try to attack me, I'll end you. Not saying I'm Mr. Badass, because I personally know several people who could dismantle me in seconds. But then again, I tend to hang out with people who've been learning how to hurt people with their bare hands for decades. Like 3 to 5 decades. That's half a century to you mathematically impaired folks out there. You ever seen the movie Bloodsport? Remember the main character played by Jean-Claude Van Damme? I've trained under his instructor. I've trained with a lot of guys whose names end in Gracie. I could name drop all day, but that's not the point. I'm a southern boy who has sent... I'm 40, so I still act like a boy, so I'm going to stick with I'm a southern boy who spent the last 30 years turning myself and others into weapons. I also carry a gun. Or 2, depending on where I'm going. And knives. Lots of them. Long story long, I'm a walking weapon with a high capacity for violence, and I don't believe in competition, so I have no compulsions about punching throats or kicking people in the nuts. But despite this capacity, I have no thirst for it. As the old saying goes, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. The most important thing I've learned in all my years in training in personal combat is how to avoid it. Thus, pacifist. I will defend myself or my family if I have to, but only once it's clear that peaceful resolution is impossible. That said, I'm going to let you in on a little secret you should have been taught as a child. Like I said, I'm Southern, but despite that, I'm not much for hunting, fishing, NASCAR, church, or drinking beer. But, unlike most of the world, I had 2 major things going for me. I went to Sunday school, and I had a daddy that taught me right from wrong. One of the things I was taught, and listen closely because this is important, 2 wrongs don't make a right. If you strike me, I'll strike you in return. Not out of vengeance, because as the Buddha said, vengeance is a poison meant for your enemy that you swallow yourself, or something like that. No, I'll strike you until you are no longer able to strike me. As I've mentioned in a previous video, I was once involved in an incident where someone tried to kill me. Twice, no less. Then I tried to kill him. In the next 30 minutes after he was rendered no longer a threat, I personally saved his life twice. The only reason I tried to kill him was because he was trying to kill me and others, and I knew he had to be stopped and would not listen to reason. Once he was stopped, his other intended victims wanted retribution, and I was forced to defend this piece of shit who had just tried to end me. Why? Because two wrongs don't make a right. Anita Scarface has been preaching on her platform about how men harass women, and I agree with her on that point, that men harassing women is wrong, even though I think that most of her stories are bullshit or a result of simple trash talk. Anyone who's ever played a multiplayer game has talked trash. That's just part of the game, we all know it, so nobody's delicate feelings get hurt. However, she seems perfectly fine, even encouraging of women harassing men. Double standard much? Hey, I'll do you one better. Remember that recent mosque attack? After radical Muslim terrorists, I actually said it. Attacks have gone from a yearly to monthly to weekly and soon to a daily basis. Some right-winger finally had enough. The media and the powers that be have apologized so much for the radical Muslim terrorists, there's that word again, or phrase, that they can get away with almost anything. How long did you actually think it was going to take for someone on the other side to think, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander? I predict that you're going to see a lot more of this. And with the media apologizing for one side, yet villainizing the other side, it's only going to make it worse. Actually, I should have said vilifying. That would have been a better word. Oh well, I don't feel like going back to edit it. Moving on. It's the same story with feminists and MRAs. Black Lives Matter and, well, anyone who isn't black. Trump. I'm not a Trump fan, but he's our president, so deal with it. This is your fault. We spent 8 years with that jackass in office before, getting away with whatever he wanted, doing things that would have gotten Slick Willie impeached in a heartbeat, and don't even get me started on the Clinton body count. And nobody would do anything. It created the perfect storm for Trump to just walk in and do the same damn thing. To everyone still crying about Trump, hey, wake up, you asshat. You made this possible. This is your fault. I used to be worried about civil war in America. I used to worry about a martial law police state. But between the Antifa, is that how you say it? Antifas, Antifags, whatever. The Antifas and the feminists and the snowflakes and the terrorists and the apologists and the white supremacists and the black supremacists and the Muslim supremacists. Now what I really fear is anarchy and a total breakdown of modern civilization. You know what that does to people like me? It makes us arm ourselves. It makes us build bunkers and stockpile supplies and weapons. It turns us into exactly the type of people you fear. And why? Because two wrongs don't make a right. They just make a bigger wrong. Now, my hat's off to Cassie J and Lacey Green. Reach out. Listen to the other side. Try to find a compromise. Go back and actually listen to some of MLK Jr.'s speeches. If he was alive today, I guarantee he would condemn the Black Lives Matter movement, just as I think Christ would condemn modern Christianity. Get your heads out of your collective asses and try and find a way to make peace, rather than just trying to make things worse because not everyone was taught about two wrongs. Not everyone knows the golden rule. That's to treat others as you would have them treat you, since you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Stop answering wrongs with more wrongs. If somebody breaks your toys, you don't break their toys in return. Stop wronging others, or they're eventually going to have enough and wrong you right back. And that's when everything goes nuclear. Anyway, that's enough for today. I hope you like my video, or, well, more rant than video, but please subscribe, like, share, all that other stuff, and you can find me on Facebook and Twitter as The Kong Abides. Oh yeah, don't forget to abide, except when you shouldn't.